Alrighty, okay, we've got a couple of games lined up from the game jam that we did, which ended end of last week, I believe. So there's a total 5 submission pages, one of which didn't have a download link. So unfortunately, I won't be playing that one. I have downloaded the remaining 4 though, and we're going to play through that. And then after we finish doing that, I don't know what I'll do. Maybe do a little bit of work in Substance Painter. Maybe I'll do just a little bit of playing through my own game. Just to like play through and just see how things are. Just like a little bit of testing, you know? Or maybe we'll do something else if something else comes up. So, yeah, okay, so this is kind of weird, right? Because we didn't drop any frames for the last stream. And now we're back to dropping frames again. So I can only imagine that it's something to do with this instance of OBS. I don't know what it would be. Because I used a different instance of OBS because I was streaming from my like Linux desktop instead. And that didn't seem to drop any frames. And now that we're back on Windows, I am. So there must be something somewhere. Oh, hold on. Output. Are we outputting at 4K? No, we're rescaling the output to 1080p. So that's not the issue. I don't know what is. So yeah, that's the plan for today. There might be some drop frames. I don't know. I might just do a reinstall of OBS on Windows as well, because I honestly at this point have no idea what could be going wrong with it. But something definitely seems to be going wrong with it. So let's just dive into the first game, which is gonna be. No, that's. I just don't have the first game open yet. I just needed to have something up on screen so that it's not black, because otherwise people would definitely think that there is an issue. And I didn't have time to like make a overlay because I don't usually have an overlay. So now that we have this, we can start playing. And oh yeah, so I did see about this in the Discord, I believe. This game doesn't have lights. It does seem to like presumably be using lumen because these are light emitting. That's a little annoying. These are light emitting materials, so it's kind of, I don't understand why it doesn't have any lights. Unless you try to bake the light with lumen on, that might actually make them not render anymore. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know. So I'm gonna try to just like walk through a bit here, but I see. Well, I don't. It's the issue. If you think the scalability, okay, but how do I set the scalability? Can I like? Is there a pause menu anywhere? Because it does make sense that you disable global illumination, that it might like fix the light, and that would make sense. But is there like a... Because it seems to be a shipping build, so I don't have console commands. Which is... But I also don't have like a pause menu, I don't think. Don't think so, didn't find one. Yeah, so... Is there any way for me to set it too low? Because I said he had editor settings and low. Yeah. Okay, so... But if I can't do that... I need to restart a command line somehow. I mean, I can't open up the command prompts. Because seemingly this is not a like development or debug build. Person making this, okay, there we go. Person making this seems to have built it as a shipping build, so there is no command prompts. The character deformation is kind of cool, but it's also the only thing that I can see. So, is there any like engine? Is there any like default settings with INI that I can maybe like change around in here? It's just backs, man. No, well, I have binaries, but binaries wouldn't include a config file. So I don't think there's going to be a config file here that I can like even do anything with. Yeah, there's no INI files. Yeah, there's no config file in the game folder. I could try to add one in myself, I suppose. I just don't remember where they go off the top of my head. But I can try to figure that out maybe somewhere. Let's see if ChatGPT has an ID. Can you make a INI file for an Unreal game that I downloaded to force it to run on low scalability settings? Let's see. Surely ChatGPT can do this, right? We might circle around back to this at the end. Something went wrong. Well, that's not ideal. Sure, how can I help today? Well, I just fucking told you, didn't I? ChatGPT is not doing great. I downloaded a Unreal Engine game and I need to make an INI file to force it to run on low scalability settings. So you would go into the saved config Windows no editor, so that would be Windows, yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna try to see if this works. If it doesn't work, I don't think that this is gonna do it. And we'll just move on to the next game, and then again, maybe at the end we'll circle back to trying this. To see if it did anything. So then we make the game user settings.ini. We'll go back to playing the game in a moment. Hold on. We'll do that as a text document. I know, INI file, there we go. Open. Put that in. Okay, let's see if this reloading it changes anything. Hopefully it might. It did not. I might have put it in the wrong directory. Let's see if we can find Unreal where to put game user settings.ini. Might just go into the default like root location. I think maybe. That doesn't do it either. No, okay. We're gonna let that cook for a moment, and see if we can come up with any other ideas. Until then, we're going to go for the next one, which is called Gravitational Lab. So let's do that. Oh, you awakened. You got to escape from here fast till your creator notices. Okay, so that's probably not made by like a native English speaker, but that's fine. Press N to continue. W is ASD to move, space to jump, mouse to look around. You know that. I do indeed. I almost forgot. Press E to dash. That's important. Wow, that's a fantastic dash. So yeah, immediately, I have no idea what the rest of that message said now. So I hope that wasn't important. Awesome, but look how red this room is. A creator will start haunting you. It's probably supposed to be hunting. Okay. Oh, that. Ooh, you dash in the camera's forward direction. That's a little weird. Oh, but that might mean that I can dash up. Oh, that means I can dash up. There we go. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Now what? Do we dash into this? Nope. Oh, we did? Great, now you're armed and probably dangerous. Hold the left mouse button to shoot. Okay. A lot of people are like coming in for the stream. It's kind of hard to keep up with chat while also playing these games. I'm sorry, I forgot. Did I already went on a rant about the 6 different paths for 3 numbers of paths? Okay, that I don't know what that means. I mean, there is the theme was different path, so I would assume. Wait, how does this? Are these just triggers? Those are just triggers, seemingly. Okay. Are those triggers that you need to dash into? How does this work? Because when I dash into this... Okay, that's a little weird, but... Sure, okay, so you're going to dash up, not down. No, that makes sense. I don't know... What the... Okay. Let's keep going. How are we gonna go? I guess we need to dash. Let's go left, right? Oh, the end is next dialogue. Yeah. You know, forget about it. No matter. You know, none of this like actually. Like, if this is important, it probably should block you from progressing the Reddit. And if it's not important, sure. No matter what I told you yes or no, because you now have 1024 paths. Each purple cube teleports you to 2 other cubes. I get that this is, I think, the one that's made in 6 hours, so that makes sense. I think there's only 61 paths, at least, if you don't count recursion. Anyway, small thing, don't touch red, that makes sense. Yeah, so none of that was like super important, luckily. It also does in no way explain, as far as I read, or I just missed it, that you need to like dash into these, which is a really kind of weird mechanic. I like that one. That was a nice little puzzle. But yeah, very, very proof of... so purple, I guess. So I guess I can... Can I just dash into this and go into the next... I can. Okay, that's that's kind of funny. So there were probably like 2 other bars beyond that, right? That I could have taken. 4, 2... Has there been text on the wall the entire time? No, it was specifically... And I've been here before, haven't I? Did I go right? I'm already lost. Okay, so I kind of have to imagine that this is this is unmakeable, right? Oh, is it? It might not be. Oh, we got it! Okay, yes, let's try to make that. You jump, you dash, you wait, and you dash again. Press 1. That's a cheat. That's not fair. There's a purple block down there, though. So now, oh, it has just like custom gravity for up or down. You can actually do it on one dash. I mean, these seem like, and that might just be like a design language thing. These seem like the same things that will cause me to go into another level. So I kind of wanted to prevent touching them. But I think like these are technically white and they just become purple due to the lighting. And these are actually purple, so that's probably like the difference, right? But maybe good to just have given those like this texture or just literally any other color aside from just white. Okay, what to do now? I guess we try to get... Sure. We can make that. Just about. This level's fun with moving targets. I kind of figured that it would be something to do with moving targets. Because of the whole thing that was... Okay, so we... Because this one we did jump into and got sent to a different level, right? So this one we do need to jump over. Well, we're blue. We're in blue. We're in blue land. Okay, blue land. Which makes it actually a lot easier to see that these things are purple and not white. 1. Are we back at the beginning again? Blue. Right. I'm going to go left. Yellow? I don't know what's going on. I'm just... Oh, god damn it. I'm back at the beginning. You're not going to tell me that once I make it through that, there's 2 more of these, right? Because that is a lot. It's kind of fun for like putting something together and ooh, okay. Fuck. In 6 hours. I guess we try to make it over there. There we go. Wait, what? Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah. What? Sure. So is this the same room that we were in before? No, it's not, because that is purple and this is white. So we can like make it over this one, just about. And then I just kind of want to like get in there. Oh, fuck. Wait, did that reset me back to the start? Why does that reset me back to the start, man? So what you did is you accidentally made a torture device and uploaded it to itch.io. That's what this is. Don't choke. Oh no. Oh no. God damn it! Okay, so this, yeah, it is very much a rage game, right? And I'm assuming that's by design. Because if this wasn't intended to be infuriating, I've got some bad news. Because it's kind of infuriating. But I am like 99% positive that it's that point to be annoying. Wait, what? Does that only have a trigger going up? So I do need to necessarily like do this. Yeah, so as far as like the controls go, it's actually pretty, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but it feels pretty good, I would say. But the fact that you're effectively just like kind of randomly choosing directions to go, which I mean that is what different paths can mean, so fair enough there. Without any like very good indication, and because everything is just like blocking, like very okay, very like basic blocks. It's also kind of hard to remember where you went in what scenario because there's nothing like really giving you context clues as to where you are. Like if this, for instance, was like the jungle area, you can more easily remember the jungle area. I went to like the pink rock instead of just saying random words at this point. Instead of just okay, so where the number 2, I went left. That's just harder to remember, right? I think I went left last time, right? Great. Now dash to win switch. Wait, I died. Did I die? Did I die? Because nothing else unlocked. I think I died. I think we're going to move on to the next game, is what I think. Text on the wall in some rooms gives you hints. I mean, let's take a look at that, I guess. Because I might have kind of like not picked up on those. I figured that they were there for something, but like this room is unique enough to the point where like, okay, there's 2 blocks and I can very easily remember which one I picked. But I keep almost falling for that. God damn it. There's an enemy room. Yeah, that's... I got a gun, don't I? There's going to be an enemy at some point. Question is if I can be bothered to get to that point. But we're going to try. Wait, oh, so that did something. Am I going in a loop? I think I'm going in a loop. So yeah, I think that... don't do that. I think this is mostly just getting annoying because it's just primitive shapes, right? I'm going to do the other one this time. Fuck. I'm also just, at this point, just... I did it. At this point, I'm just randomly going in places because I'm not gonna like remember. Okay, so 4-2. Well, how is like? What's the hint here? Am I stupid? Oh, you can shoot those walls to open them, but I think I tried that. I guess if you can make it up top here, you can just kind of do that and save yourself like one time. Dash. I thought I was maybe going to be able to make it over both, but no. Oh, fuck. Wait, does it apply a constant force as long as the dash lasts? It does. It's not an instant force. It's okay. It's a force that you can like apply over time, which is I didn't like gather that up until now. I don't know. I hope that that's not going to be like a mechanic because that's going to be okay. Left. I'm gonna assume that I go left. It's oh. So it's the order of words. So it's and then a second word and then left and then two. And then something else. And I'm blue. Yeah, no, that doesn't... Right. Okay. It's always yellow or blue. Why not black and white? I don't fucking know, man. You made the game. Left. We're back at it. Okay. I'm trying to... Don't joke. Okay, hold on. I think we're back. Yes. Okay, so why did I die last time? What even is this? Did I not die? Is that just the end? Did I do that again for no reason? Okay, so you can shoot them open. Okay. The fourth word is two. The entire sentence is it's always from left to right. But that's it's always from left to right. The fourth word isn't two in that sentence. It's always from left to right. Two is the fifth word there. Okay. This is your daily dose of... Oh my god. Get over it with... this is gonna be fun, isn't it? Remember, you can always redirect your dash mid-flight. That's... Okay, yes. So there we have that introduced. That's gonna be something. What the hell was even that? So I guess we just kind of like, that's how we do. Okay, so never mind. I actually kind of like the idea of that. Because you can make these like sneaky little... No! That's it? Yeah. That's kind of neat. No. Actually, I hate it. I guess I can just kind of wait a moment before I start to actually dash. There we go. We can just cheat this by pressing 1. But I want to actually do it because this is like fun little like platforming. No dash. Oh, you actually disabled the dash. Okay. dash again? Sure, man. Sure. Yeah, so I much prefer this over the insanity that was what we had at first. Because here we actually have like gameplay and like skill involved. So do we just dash into... Oh! Why didn't that work at the last thing? I'm not doing that again, by the way. I've done it twice. I just didn't understand what was like the problem. Okay, so we... Do they instant kill me? Or what? Oh, they definitely... Oh my... Oh yeah, this is what I saw on the Discord. Yeah, nah, okay, yeah. Okay, cool. It's... Makes it kind of hard to aim, not gonna lie. So, is that just a camera shake that gets, like, added every time you get hit? Which goes absolutely insane. Okay, I'll do the other one just with the... I don't know what that said. I'm just gonna like go through real quick. You can do left, right, left, right. Oh, that was the hint, right? Yeah. So if I count that as like this one already as the first left, I guess, right? Well, no, left. I just went in right, I think. I wasn't paying attention. Let's go left again. All right again. I think I'm offset. I think I'm doing the wrong... No. Always. Okay. Okay, we know that this is right. This is don't choke. So, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so maybe only spawn that in once this is activated. It was cheating, is what it was. Optimized algorithm. What algorithm would even do that? 1 part for 1,000. Way too many. Alright. Do I get a prize? Do I get something? Do I get to escape? Thanks for participating in different paths. The simulator was created in about 6 hours, because creator didn't have much time. And is very sadistic. Creator hopes that you enjoyed your stay. Creator wishes a lot of stuff. I mean, you did kind of like write a little bit of like a story and some dialogue for it, so that's kind of fun. I like that. I didn't like the different parts aspect of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was kind of torturous, but the other two bits, especially like the little platforming in the middle section there that I did. I actually like thoroughly enjoyed that platforming. Like that as a platforming mechanic is actually like super fun. Having like a dash that is just a constant like application of force instead of a like instant burst of speed. That's actually a really fun idea for like a 3D platforming mechanic. 1000% love that idea. Okay, this one. La 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 la. I don't know if that's copyrighted music or not. I did open all of them to see if they worked, and I did see that this one. You know what? That's still going to come through to my microphone. I'm just going to hope that there's no important audio here. So let's set this back to being full screen real quick, because it forced itself open in 1980 by 1920 by 1080. It's not. It's copyright-free music. Now I'm worried that mine is too short. I mean, that one was longer than I would have expected. We're like half an hour in. I expect most games to be like 5 to 10 minutes. So And to be fair, a lot of what that was also just random guessing. It's all Sue now. Okay, so it's copyrighted with extra steps. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to turn it back on. And I have the license. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they can like copyright detect that anyway, right? So, all right. It's a lot of noise. I have that exact same asset pack. I like this asset pack as well for these pickups. So what do I do? I can shoot real good. Well, I can't shoot real good because I don't have ammo, I guess. I didn't look at the page. How do I interact with stuff? Oh, okay. I own the rights and won't sue you. That's not... I still don't have ammo. Oh, that's what the pickups are for, presumably. Yeah, no, that makes sense. E for pickup. You know what? That makes sense. That's on me. Do we get ammo at any point? Should I have picked up the ammo inside? Probably should have picked up the ammo inside. Is there ammo inside? Oh, R for reload, maybe? I think that might have been it. R for reload. Yeah, there we go. I don't play a lot of shooters, and ones that I do play tend to like auto reload. So, as you can see, I don't play a lot of shooters. No reload animation though, so that's kind of nice. Wait. Did you just shoot me after you died? That's not cool, man. That's rude. Alright, so we are going to go through some kind of different path here, presumably, in a moment. Or reload, you can only shoot while aiming. I mean, I probably... Well, this actually like would be fine to shoot this way. Okay, ooh, what the hell? What even... How does that even... What the... Am I like inside of a light there? It doesn't matter, but sure. I'm guessing there's no like... Oh. Ooh. Dynamic lights. I'm guessing there's no like headshot detection, right? It's just hit the dude and move on with your life. Robot boss. Okay, so is this kind of like roguelike, where it just picks a random level to load at the end of like a loading zone? And make like a fairly... What the hell? Oh, I accidentally... Between two pros... Oh, I died. Probably shouldn't have been looking at chat during the boss fight. That makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. I also accidentally was reloading instead of... Did I have ammo at the start before as well? Or did I carry over my ammo after death? How do you already have damage? I guess maybe your HP went below 0 and you just get added back your max HP or something? Also, yeah, the boss seems maybe a little OP, but I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, so maybe I just kind of suck and I should have like paid attention there. But it seems like maybe the boss could like chill the fuck out a little bit. Oh, I carried over food and metal as well. Weird. Okay, so it's just not like properly resetting. It's just like setting you back to like your spawn point, I guess. Still, the like impulse to try to make headshots is is kind of fantastic, isn't it? Oh my god, that deals no damage. So these are just like ammo crates. That's fair. Is there any other buttons that I'm missing? Yeah, so what's the use case for the other resources? That's a fantastic question, because we also picked up like a shield thing. Also, do I have something like a holy hell? Do I have something like a dodge roll or a dash or a whatever? Like what does this do? And what does this do? Shift to sprint. Okay, that's good to know for dodging. I'm just gonna kind of beeline it for the boss at this point because I feel like I have enough resources. Oh, and that also depletes stamina. Okay, that makes sense as to why I have a stamina bar in the first place. Nothing. Okay, so that was just you didn't get around to like implementing mechanics around those. That's fair. I'm back at boss. You know, if I just stay far enough away, surely it won't see me, right? I mean, that seems to be working. So I like this strategy because it involves me not dying. But I also do need to pick up some more ammo. Holy shit, dude! What the hell? Why are you? Oh, that's like his ultimate attack for... Yeah, okay, so that's where he, like, goes into... he's dead. Let's pick up some more ammo. Now what? Not dying is the best strategy. General, like, pro tip for life as well. You win. Okay, so that's just the... That's the end. You didn't get to the multiple paths thing. You said it in the Discord, I believe, right? So the idea, I presume, would have been that you then like get sent to a like random, like roguelike-ish. You get sent to like a place that you explore, and then you have like 2 or 3 different options to like pick from next rooms, and it just like randomly picks those or whatever. Okay. Alt shift. That just updates my... The idea is to choose this area or another one. Okay. So yeah, Alt plus Shift also doesn't do anything because that's like being intercepted by Windows, I think. Because Windows really fucking likes to intercept things with the Alt key in it. Or Alt F4. Oh, just close. Yeah, no, okay. We can do that. So then next up we have a roguelike game jam called Roguelike Game Jam. So let's get into that. Title screen .jpg. The text is a little blurry, but that's fine. Let's look at how to play, shall we? Well, survive. Each round increases with the number and difficulty of enemies, but the objectives change. Each kill is worth experience to spend on new level ups, but you're only allowed to advance the gun skill path once per round. Good luck. To attack, press what? This is very broken. Yes. I swear I named it seasonal scripts in the game file, but it clearly didn't work. Yeah, that's a good question. Why that didn't work, I don't know. I guess we'll figure out the controls with trial by fire. I'm going to assume that... Oh. Where to go? Where to go? I can jump. Cool. Personally, I probably would prefer a slightly higher camera so that you're like kind of looking over his shoulder instead of over his hip. Kind of feels a bit more intuitive, I think, but that's not that big a deal. It was kind of like looking out for it. What the... Why do I keep getting teleported? Oh, there's one dude. Oh, and he's dead. So yeah, we just had bullet sponge enemies, and now we have enemies that... Oh, because I keep running into those fires. On pause menu in game, press tab, open that, but that lost it. So, okay. Left click to shoot, right click C to crouch. I was trying to control, so that's good to know. Tab to pause, you're here, yeah. Fires teleports to nearby fires. Oh. Alright, we can do that. So, I thought I was dying or something. Limit one remaining target. So that's not into the fire now. And oh, wow. Okay. Skill tree stuff. Cool. Wall piercing. That seems like it might be good to have. Piercing. Hit multiple enemies. Exploding. Also seems kind of cool. Where do I see? I have 1500 XP. Where does it tell me the costs? I guess I just figured out as I just... Did you use the build field sound for trying to do something that you're not allowed to do? Because that just gave me... That just gave me like a PTSD flashback, man, hearing that sound outside of like the actual engine contact. It's like, what? Wait, how? What did I do wrong? I guess we do an XP multiplier as well. Oh, we do have price. Oh, that's very expensive, isn't it? So I guess we just got one of each of these, and then we need 10,000 experience? You get one skill tree per round, the XP for general upgrades. Also, yes, the sound. Yeah, it's kind of funny then. So let me take a sip of water, and then I guess I don't have enough XP to like upgrade anything. So that's the next round then. Wow, I one-shot him now. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, so not to be that guy, but the crosshair actually is kind of shit. At least when you're aiming up, which likely is to do with the positioning of like the third person thing. I would say if you put a crosshair on screen, it's probably best to like shoot in the direction that like the crosshair is in. So you just get like the middle point of your screen and find whatever like world location is under that, and try to shoot to like that location, right? Which is specifically a thing that happens with third-person games. If you have like a first-person shooter, obviously you more or less shoot where you look anyway, because that's what first-person means. Once you pick the skill branch, you're locked in. Okay, so that's good to know. Yeah, the crosshair's kind of yeah. That's okay. So I guess I can just kind of stick on this, right? Because I don't even have enough experience now to do any of these either. Yeah, I guess I just go to the next round. Yeah, but even if you use projectiles, like you set a like velocity for that projectile, you can just get the like desired location that you want to shoot your projectile to. Now, whenever you spawn it in, set its velocity to like the rotation toward that location. So yeah, I need to unstuck myself, which would be probably like a tiny bit more intuitive than this. Because right now it's probably just doing it from whatever like the weapon location is, I would assume. So there's only 4 available. Ah, okay. Yeah, it's shooting from the weapon location with like the camera rotation. Which works well enough. It's just it takes a little bit of getting used to. Oh, hello! Christ. Well, once you're used to it, it's not that bad, actually. It's also, like, the zoom in. Maybe the zoom in helps, actually? I'm gonna get this, okay? Oh, god damn it, he has more HP! But we got him! And then I jumped down. Okay, sure. Enemies can't navigate the map that well. I guess they just, some parts of the nav mesh are like wide enough to like gen, or the level rather, to gen like nav mesh on. I've had that issue in the past as well. Really kind of annoying when that happens. Because if an enemy like gets into a position where they only have like a sliver of nav mesh, they end up doing exactly that, where they just kind of run back and forth, which is, I mean, was fun for me. Fun little bit of target practice. But probably not exactly your desired outcome, I would imagine. My dude. Okay, I got unstuck. You know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna not be here for a moment. All right. Did I just send him to the fucking Shadow Realm? I hope that means that when they die, they just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Game over. First game jam, first game. I mean, it's pretty, like, it works. Which is more than, like, half the things that I make for game jams can say. Well, generally it works, but it's just kind of boring. This is not boring, at least. I'm having a good time. Yeah, so I think like explosion seems to be the way to go, right, for skills, because you have knockback implemented as well, I think, right? But I don't think like knockback seems super valuable. You also have wall piercing and piercing. Piercing or wall piercing, when there's a lot of them, might actually start making sense, but I kind of feel like exploding makes the most sense, and I could just upgrade all of these and then I'm low on experience again. Any game is better than no game. That is truth. It kind of does have horror game vibes when you're like in such a like close corridor. That's not quite a horror game, but did kind of jump scare me. That teleports me literally back to where I came from. Fantastic. So, the flames. I gotta ask. I'm stuck. That's not what I was gonna ask, but I am stuck. I'll try that again real quick. So the flames, I gotta ask. Does it send you like to a random nearby flame, or are these flames like specifically linked to other places? Also, yeah, how did you do the skill tree? That's actually an interesting question, because I've been thinking about like doing a skill tree like system tutorial at some point. I still am thinking about how I would like design it. So any insights on like skill tree based like ideas are very, very welcome. It's probably going to be a data asset based thing, because I fucking love data assets, man. Data assets are... I would die for data assets. There we go. Flames were last minute trying to fix enemy AI. There's a nav link, so they wouldn't camp on top. Okay. So they are like linked one-to-one. Hello there, buddy. A Shadow Realm it is! I hope he's dead, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to progress, I think. Skill tree was a data asset build. There we go! Data assets! Use gameplay tags to verify unlocks pre-wex. Pre-wex? Oh, this is a different type of game. Pre-rex. This is what it said. Can I make that jump? Nope. Did you know that the Shadow Realm didn't exist in the original Yu-Gi-Oh? If the answer to that is no, you've clearly never been in like any online space with like any Yu-Gi-Oh person, because it's literally the first thing anybody ever brings up. But yeah, everybody sent to the Shadow Realm in Yu-Gi-Oh! In the original version, they just fucking died. Can't get wall piercing without piercing first. That makes sense. I could kind of use some wool piercing right now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just trying to like cheese my way up to where I think this dude must be, but it's not really doing it. With the original manga, man, it's Yugi is batshit insane. Well, it's the Pharaoh that's insane, but yeah, no, especially like the the original manga in general is even darker than even the Japanese anime. And the Japanese anime is a lot darker than the American anime. 4Kids censored the ever-living hell out of that show. But the like original manga, specifically like the early portions, which were adapted into like its own anime before, are indeed just fucking bananas. But even afterwards, when it's like on par with like the show as we know it, it's a lot more brutal in the manga. He also kills one guy who I believe was forced to herself on a female friend of hers. Yeah, he kills a lot of people. Well, not even. He doesn't even like kill them. He like sends them, well, effectively to the Shadow Realm. He imprisons them within like their own mind, where they endure eternal torture until they die. Oh, we made it! We made it! So, dude, that felt really good. Okay, so we want to do like piercing. Oh, so this is the skill tree that works. It works upward like this. Okay, that makes sense. That's why it's a skill tree. Yeah. A couple of connecting lines would have probably made that a little bit more clear. Yeah, the gun censorship is like amazing, isn't it? Where they're just constantly like pointy fingers. There's supposed to be different objectives too. I mean, it's a valuable exercise in scope, right? That's what game jams generally like are very good at, is giving you a very healthy dose of reality of how long it actually takes to make these things. So when I get wool piercing, can I just like I guess it just pierces through one singular wool, right? It's not gonna be able to just like hit him from here. I mean, there's one thing, like at some point in Yu-Gi-Oh, Bakura literally sends like those like zombie duelists literally to hell in the original, and in the dub they also make that the Shadow Realm, but the Shadow Realm is kind of just like hell as it is anyway. So you didn't actually censor anything there aside from maybe like, oh, we can teleport up. That's or not. I think that we kind of get the point of the game. Yeah, no, I like the idea. It's kind of fun. No, yeah, through all structures. Okay, so when you get wool piercing, you are just like God. You can just stand in the middle and just eliminate everything. I guess there is bullet drop because it's a projectile, right? It probably has gravity. So you can't just stand in the center and hit everything, I suppose. But yeah, that's all of them except for again, unfortunately the blip or bilb. I think it says blip. Yeah, blip. Which just I can't get to run at the proper settings. But aside from that, that's 3 fun games. Well, 2 fun games and a torture device. Yeah, and one of them just didn't have a download, which is also unfortunate. It's the, was it Not What It Seems, I think? Right? Didn't have a download? Well, it does have a download now, I think. Might have gotten updated. Hold on. It's a gigabyte now, so we're going to be waiting here for a couple of minutes. It has when I updated it. Okay, so I'm downloading that, and we'll check it out as well. Is by any chance this one maybe have a updated download as well? Going to be 3 minutes. So what are we going to do for 3 minutes? I'm going to check my phone, and going to read chat. And then we'll play the game. That's the one downside to hosting a game jam for people that primarily use Unreal Engine, is that the downloads are all like relatively big, because Unreal packaged games very quickly end up being very big compared to something like Unity games. Because there is a little bit of bloat with the engine, which you can get it back down by like manually disabling a bunch of stuff and making sure that it only packs specifically like the assets that you are using and that kind of stuff, because you might have like probably enabled like starter content and not using like 90% of it, but it just backs your entire project up, which is a bit of a bother. But it's okay. I can download a gigabyte, that's not that big a deal. "30 seconds left. A little is an understatement. I mean, it's only a gigabyte, and like the other games were only like 2 gigabytes each. Well, not all of them, but most of them were like in the 1 to 2 gigabyte range, I think. My game is 200 megabytes. Yeah, so yours was definitely like the exception, because it has like literally like nothing else in it. And you probably also didn't make a project with starter content, I guess. Alright, we're done downloading this game, which is called version 2. Well, the download is called version 2. The game is called the other thing. This is the thing that I just said. Maze. The exe is called Maze. Please open up my main monitor, thank you very much. Alright. Escape GameDevCave dungeon, collect all the obelisks, the path will open. Q portal, E interacts, R rotates, half portal size. So Q, I guess we don't have any portal yet, that makes sense. Okay, I can kind of see the different parts. Can't get through here, I guess. I'll go the other way. Skip main menu, that's fine. It's Is that like TAA doing its work here? With like the shimmering and stuff? Fucking Lumen, man. But yeah, it's actually like it looks quite nice for only being a gigabyte. Good assets. Alright, so that must be the first thing that I need to collect. And it kind of feels like it would be a fun VR experience as well. $4.16 instructions minimum on the materials. How? Aren't they just like literally boxes with textures? I guess these... Do they have some kind of like depth map? Doesn't seem like they do. You can use Q. Ah, I can use Q. Oh! Oh, but that's kind of a nice little thing. And I can put that down. Oh! I like that. That's really cool. Oh, that's neat. I like that. I always like these like different dimension Elseworlds kind of like games. And the lighting works a lot better on this side of the world. So yeah, now that I have that, can I just leave the portal there and just like make a new one when I guess I can. So I guess that now opens up that thing over here, right? No. But I can maybe rotate it in a way that it will allow me to pass through. Nope. Yeah, no, that's really neat. If I had any idea where to go. No, I need to collect 4 obelisks. Oh, so that's just the end of the game. Alrighty. Well, then I got turned around. Well, then let's go back. Because I didn't really like explore the rooms that I ran through, because I figured I can now go through the door and that'll be the start of the game. But it's actually the end of the game. So I guess it kind of like pays dividends to... Huh. Wait, even though this thing isn't... What side of the portal is that supposed to be on? I guess it's supposed to be on the other side. So if I go through, yeah, so okay. Is the collision the same on both sides? I guess we can kind of make our way. I don't know if there's any... Yeah, so the collision is just the same on both sides. Okay. That's fair. Collision does not work if the object is not visible. I mean, didn't it? Because like, I can't go through here, and that seems to be because like this... This is there. Oh, but now this collision does work. Oh fuck, I might have gotten myself stuck. Hold on. There we go. Right? Because they're not visible. I guess these just that's just not where I need to go anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So, where are we going with all this? Oh, found one. Oh, there's another one up there. Can I just... I guess I'll get that later, maybe? Whoa, that's a big boy. What did that do? Did I need to portal into that or something? Yes, I needed to portal to get that. Alright. So I've got two. Question is, how do I get that thing up there, man? And then where's the third one as well? Red means you need to shift. Okay, so... you can change size now. How? Oh, 1 to 2. Oh, 1 to 2. Okay, so how does that help me, though? So I can, like, put this down now, which is fantastic, but... what does that practically change? Aside from giving me a bigger view, obviously. Because I could already shift through to like the other dimension with the small portal. So what does the bigger portal give me? I guess? That's kind of what I'm wondering. There is a chain. This one? This one. Oh, and then we use the portal to go through, so we can actually pick it up. Hold on. Wait, what? Already picked it up. Okay, sure. Does it say I have 5 out of 4 or 4 out of 5? I'm supposed to be picking up 4, right? Is that it? Did I pick up 4? Oh, big one is useful for the last one, okay. Yeah, so I didn't find the last one yet, then, right? Someone managed to trigger a bug. I'm good at that! I am the goodest at that. Is it just a counting bug, or is it something like you are not able to trigger something out kind of bug? Because I would very much like it if... oh, it says you can now change portal size, that's fair. Okay, so you kinda brick now, door won't open, last one is on top of the statue. What statue? Door set to open when count is equal to 4. Okay. Yeah, so this this exact kind of thing is why you do a greater than or equals to for those kind of things. Same as with like HP, right? Even if you have like clamping set up for it, just always check less than or equals to 0 for HP stuff, I guess. On the other room. Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense actually, because all of them have been in this room and that other room is not seem too useful. Oh, there we go. We have one. So we can just like kind of like platform up here and then. Oh, I have 6 now. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why that. Sure. So yeah, this is now. But I have 7. How did I get 7? What? I'm so good at this game that out of 4 obelisks, I picked up 7. Fantastic. But yeah, I really like this like portal mechanic. I also personally like the look of the mirror dimension more than the original, I think. Just because it's a little darker and a little bit more moody. It's got a little bit more like atmosphere because of the lighting actually, like creating contrast and that kind of stuff. You somehow managed to shift the pillar into the other dimension as well. Huh. So I guess that made it trigger a couple of things twice when I like picked them up while being shifted to like the other dimension or something. Is this a development build? Doesn't seem like it. Can't open the command console on this. So, tough luck. I guess we'll never know what's on the other side. Well, there's just a mountain. There's a mountain on the other side. With the text, thank you for playing. I think we kind of get it. There's also the idea is to use your portal between the dark and obelisk to pick up the last one, so you can open the door but the game ends there. Yeah, okay. So cool. Nice. Again, I love this mechanic and it actually like works very well. It's one of those things where I'm looking at it and I'm like, actually, like, how did you do that? I mean, this is like probably just like, how did you do that? Because it's so seamless. You're not like teleporting between 2 different like locations, right? It's just it's the materials. And then, but it also enables and disables different like objects when you pass through. So, do the materials for those just become 0? Are they just like translucent materials or masked materials that just become transparent? And then when they become transparent, they also get that collision set to 0. Okay, that makes sense. And then how do you make the actual like portal? So it's kind of some like post-processing? Surely not, because that would be camera dependent. Is it like just a plane with a render target on it? Type plus material base, that makes sense, yeah. It's mostly the portal that actually like is very Like, it's all very seamless. I really like the way that all works. Portal's just there to trigger the tags in the square shape. Yeah, but the thing that I'm like wrecking my brain about is how do you like tell the things behind the portal to render as like the separate dimension? I guess you use like a custom stencil or something, like so they have that as a custom depth buffer that you can use as a mask. That would be post-processing again. I don't think that this would. You've actually got me stumped on this one. This is actually like really interesting. I'm trying to like work it the hell out, but it's like super smooth. Okay, let's put it in a different position so I can maybe like try to. I'm just trying to break it at this point because I like breaking stuff. What if I go through? Yeah, okay, so we can actually kind of see it working if we go through the edge, right? If you just go through like this, it's like super smooth. Actually seamless. Yeah, well done. That's going to cut me a bit of a headache, in a good way. It's really neat. Sweet. I think that'll be all the Game Jam games, because Blib didn't have any lights, which makes it kind of difficult to play. If it got fixed at a later date, I'll still play it, of course, but for now, on stream, I don't think there's much to be done. So I will be launching my Unreal project, and I guess we're just going to be playing through a little. Because we've got like about an hour left before I'm going to head the hell out of here. So I don't know. Maybe we can do something in Substance for an hour. Maybe we could. I'm not sure what I would do in Substance Painter right now anyway. I've set up the majority of the texture for the pickaxe. And at this point, I know there's stuff that I still need to do. But it's like, I don't know what stuff. It's a mask around the portal. Oh, okay, yeah, that. Oh, okay, yeah. That adds up. Oh, I can also take out the thumbnail again and show you the code. Pickaxe is for the player. We could also do some animation, I guess, but I really don't want to do that. So we won't. Has a material with a mask plus some tag to invert visibility. Cleverly done. Portals are always so interesting to like set up and to create, because there's a million different ways of doing them, and there's a million different like ways for portals to like function to begin with. You see, if it were me, I probably would have just added a widget to the screen that just fades white and then back and put you in a different dimension and just have like the entire thing side by side as two entirely different things, like different levels. But this is probably like the much more like economical way of doing things from like a design perspective, because you don't need to design two entire levels. You design one level that just works in like two different states. I think you could try to use data layers for it too. Yeah. Yeah, you could use it to like enable and disable data layer. If you do it with like the way that I just said, if you do it with like this seamless way that the game we just played did it, that obviously doesn't work quite the same way. So I think that that's like actually like a pretty genius way to like set that up. And make a horror game with this logic. You should. It's really cool. Probably some cursed mirrors and enemies that can only be interacted with in the dark. Yeah. That's definitely like, if that like pops off a little, it's gonna pop off like a lot. Because that seems like the perfect like YouTuber horror game. It seems like the perfect Markiplier game, is what I'm saying. If you make it like a horror game. But it's also like, because it has like that puzzly element to it with the portal, potentially. It might also like appeal to some people who aren't usually as much into horror, but are like a little bit more into the puzzly thing. So it depends a little. You don't want to go too puzzly because that will probably like scare away, ironically enough, some of the horror fans. So like maybe don't lead too much into that. But it's a fun idea. I definitely want to see more of that. But yeah, YouTubers would absolutely love that shit, man. And that's how you make a game that sells millions. Is making something that YouTubers will eat up. Because that's your modern day indie marketing, is YouTubers and Twitch streamers. And just like word of mouth, making a good game in general so that people like enjoy it and the Steam algorithm like picks it up a little bit. But for the most part, it's like having a YouTube like scene around your game is like the most valuable thing for like indie marketing that you could possibly do. Which is why my game is going to sell like shit. But I don't care. Yeah, so let's open up the persistent level and just see if anything's broken since the last time that I played anything. Because I think last time we played, we had like an issue with textures not loading in for the UI. So that might be something that we want to like look at. New game. Well, technically speaking, that door is just open, which is fine. Yeah, adding gimmicks can be quite... Okay, so it actually... And it selects the button as well. Didn't do that last time either. You can see the textures like streaming in real time, which is like slightly annoying, but... Is this a slightly forced way to do a tutorial? Yes, but I don't care. So yeah, this is... Speaking of force, I've wanted to show this off a million times, but because of the whole... when you die without having touched a checkpoint before, the game will crash. Because when you die, it tries to figure out what level you were last like in when you touched the checkpoint, so that it can reload that level and send you back to that level. But what it'll do is it'll try to get the name of that level and unload the level by name. But if that is not a valid name, it tries to load an invalid level and the game crashes. So if you've never touched a checkpoint, you die, which I didn't think people would do, but man, did people do that. The game crashes, and I can either fix that code, or I can just force you to touch the checkpoints in the tutorial. Why did it lose focus there? That's weird. And now the issue is also fixed. I've got to add more images for this stuff now. I think in general I need these enemies to be less spongy. I think it will feel a lot better if these enemies go down in a few less hits. Could you add a tutorial checkpoint as a default? Yeah, I could. Just like check, hey, does this level exist that you're trying to load? If not, just go to the tutorial checkpoint. I could do that. But that then also potentially... there still is a potential issue, I should point out, where you can just ignore every other checkpoint in the game beyond the tutorial, and then if you die after the tutorial, you'll be sent back to that tutorial checkpoint, which I don't know how the game is going to deal with. It should be fine. You'll have to re-fight the boss. But I think aside from that, it should be fine. Oh yeah, these also don't trigger for some reason. That's right. I don't know why. Oh yeah, and that's also a thing that I still need to, because this is kind of like fucked. We're going to skip the twin stick shooter thing for now, because we've done that plenty of times. And then we have this area, which I need to redo as well, because it's kind of messed up. So I've been thinking, now that we've like some people here and we're just like kind of hanging out, and this is partly due to me having re-picked up Hollow Knight again. I've been thinking that maybe adding some like Metroidvania-ish type of things in might not be a bad idea. Which is to say, I'm not going to make the game a Metroidvania. Because I have already designed 2 dungeons without that in mind. And the whole concept of the game wasn't built from the ground up to like be a Metroidvania. I like the idea that it is like open world. It's not really open world in the sense that you like usually would think of open world. I prefer to think of it as open dungeon. You can go anywhere at any time. You just need to go everywhere before going to the end. Is the structure of the game, and I kind of like that. But I also think that it might be fun to add in extra optional reward areas that you do get to after unlocking certain abilities from like certain boss fights or whatever. So they have a little bit of that Metroidvania exploration still in there, beyond just linear rooms. For instance, the pickaxe is going to have a special ability where you can like go underground. I still need to program this, of course. Where you can like go underground, and then pop back up to do damage. But maybe in some places, I will also like put an item underground. So if you dig in the right spot, you might be able to use that ability to dig there. You might be able to like find an item, and maybe I can put an area where the wall doesn't quite reach the floor. So if you have that pickaxe, you can like dig under that section of wall to reach a new area with like something in it. That's kind of the thing that I've been thinking about lately. I don't want to block progression in the game, which is why it's not going to be a Metroidvania, because of course unlocking new abilities to unlock new areas on the map that like progress the game is what Metroidvania does. I don't want to do that, but I do want to take maybe like a little bit of that exploration stuff and just sprinkle it in, right? So you kind of do get that backtracking feel of, I don't know what this is. I can't really do anything with it at the moment, but it's going to be relevant at some point. And you like are rewarded for coming back after getting certain abilities, right? So yeah, initially the idea was to just like have the entire like dungeon everywhere just available to you at all times from the start. Because I personally don't love how Metroidvanias make you backtrack all over the place, back and forth, like all the time. Like that's not particularly like my favorite thing about the genre at all. But I'm thinking instead of it blocking actual like game progress, because that's the thing that annoys me is that I feel like when you get stuck, and that's really annoying. That's, I mean, it's a little buggy. And getting stuck just isn't a lot of fun. But when it is just optional, like side stuff, this cutscene still is broken. When it's just like optional side stuff, such as getting an exclusive item or getting an extra like exclusive ability or something like that, that's moving. That's weird. It might still be rewarding enough to make it like enjoyable to engage with, without it blocking your progress through the rest of the game. Add fast travel and backtrack is not really an issue. I've been debating on whether or not I want to have a fast travel mechanic between checkpoints. It would be fairly easy to add in. Okay, well that's a thing. Hold on a moment. We're gonna try to get this right. I guess we just kind of get stuck in the floor when we get put in here, right? That's the issue. Is this entire... What is the collision here? Is this entire thing just one big block of collision now? How could that be? No, surely not. Oh, it is. What the... Why does it have these collisions, man? Is it still like baked from... These wall panels have insane collision. What the hell? Hold on a moment. That's not... That's... No, 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 no. Collision. Why is your simple collision this? Remove collision. Block simple collision. This is all the collision that you need, man. Well, it's gonna need to like actually update in game as well. Yeah, so that's weird. I also need to refight that boss now. I don't know why it did that. I assume it's something to do with the scaling from Blender to Unreal. Maybe. That's the only thing that I can think of. Because the collision was the same shape and it has the same origin point. It's just way bigger. So it must be something to do with the like scaling factor. It's just weird how the mesh didn't get scaled the same way. And I don't think any of the other objects have the same issue. We probably should check that actually. But I don't think any of the other objects from the exact same file had that issue. So I don't know. Yeah, so this is also like very tedious, isn't it? I think his passive state should last shorter. Mostly we just needed to trigger that more frequently, but that passive state where he sits down and just lets you attack him, it's actually like not that fun because you don't deal enough damage to like significantly decrease his health or defense bar. So essentially we need to have that state still so that we have like an opportunity to reasonably heal. Now that healing is a spell and not... we probably even don't really need that state, to be honest. I think we can pretty much have this boss fight always just be aggressive. Someone needs to make a plugin to modify asset scale on import. I think it's just an import setting. So I don't think you need a plugin for that. Have you checked Expedition 33? Not yet. I intend to, but I've been playing Hollow Knight, as I said, and I've also been playing this other new game that's like a Tetris meets deck building meets like Settlers of Catan called Drop Duchy, which is like actually a very addicting game. I've been playing that. And on my Steam Deck, I've been playing Octopath Traveler. Still some fucky-wucky collision going on, but there's a lot of fucky-wucky collision going on. So yeah, I think the other assets also have the same thing going on. But what do you guys think about having some like actual art assets in this dungeon instead of just purple blocks? That's kind of neat, isn't it? Now let's take a look at... Before we do that, let's actually make a save file in the central area. Because I don't want to fight that boss over and over again. Well, I do want to fight that boss over and over again, because we're going to need to fine-tune it. Yeah, so I think, yeah, these are things have the same issue, because, yes. So all of these, we just need to go in. It's just kind of weird how... Only the collision got messed up. Because now that I just say, hey, simple box collision, it does properly do it. It understands what I want. Let's open up that level and just go through. Yeah, these panels being separate meshes, that also makes sense. I guess I don't need to show collision to everyone. I can just do this and then call it a day. Yeah, I guess these other wall panels also have problems then, don't they? Suppose I don't need to be able to walk into these necessarily, do I? Yeah, even with simplified collision, this is just still a box. I guess I could just make these use complex collision if I really wanted to, but for now I think just adding a box collision is fine. It does make these a little offset from the actual wall, which might be annoying. Want to pop in and say your level streaming tutorial has been a godsend. Which one? Because I have like 3 videos on level streaming. I'm assuming it's the one that's like, you're loading your levels wrong in Unreal Engine. This is not clickbait. Real stuff. The one with the clickbaity title on thumbnail. Sorry about that. But it works. I'm assuming that one, because statistically speaking, most people do see that one. Couldn't join the jam due to exams. There's always next year. I fully intend to do this like yearly, if I don't forget, which I might. But presumably I'll be like not forgetting it, and we'll have one next year as well. What are we auto convex collision? That's pretty good. For this one specifically, I think that's probably good because we don't want it to just be a simple like singular box, right? Is there any like better way to like build collision in engine aside from just like adding a box? I think you can like provide in a mesh that it uses for collision, right? So I guess I can just like make a gauge mesh for the simplified collision. You smell. No, you. Sure. I guess we have like, yeah, we have primitives here, so we can like kind of build up this collision in that way, surely. I don't know if this is necessarily the best way to do that. But it is a way to do it. It's a way that we're going to try to use just to see. Can I like add more things to this array? Because it's an array that doesn't have a add new elements. So I guess we add another box collision. Yeah, okay, that's kind of annoying. If we just make this 200 high and then we set this to like 100 and then we move this like forward a little. Why did it reset the other one? Oh, what? No. Oh, because we, yeah, no, that makes sense. That's my bad. Yeah, so that should allow us to make some simplified collision. And ideally, you would, of course, like make a box for this and a box for this and then a box down there. And that. But at that point, I could have sworn you can just put in a different mesh for the simplified collision. Or you can do one for the complex collision. I guess. But at that point, just use a fucking like actual mesh contents for the collision. In this case, I probably could. To be fair, because if we go in and just check the wireframe, this stuff is like not super high poly, so just using... Wait, is this nanite? No, 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 I didn't tell you to be nanite. Hold the fuck on, I did not tell you to be nanite. How about you go fuck off with your nanite stuff? Yeah, so it's not super high poly. So we probably could just use this as the collision mesh, to be honest with you. But that means that you probably are also nanites. Yes, I don't want any of this to be nanites. Hey. Nanite. No. This is all low poly enough that I don't need nanite for it, and that the override for nanite is probably going to be more than the performance benefit, so I don't want that. Which I think, yeah, this pretty much covers all of the assets that we care about right now that I use. Well, these are actually just the block meshes with a material on them, as is. So let's try again. That's the wrong save file. That's the wrong save file again. Second save file. It's not that hard. People, come on. I really need to get rid of that sphere trace. What the hell is that even for pronunciation? Sphere trace. I did it again. Trace. Sphere trace. Not that difficult. Just talk like a normal fucking human being. I mean, there is also that, which is like reason enough to maybe not nerf the enemies too much, because we can just annihilate them. And it's fairly easy to just annihilate them as well. Probably should make the window to actually make that happen a lot thinner. Oh, I need to get good. I forgot that I added that. Oh, and then it kills the game. Sure. Why? Why? Set player to save point. What? Why? Oh, it's specifically because it freaks out due to... I think that save point might be in the persistent level. Which is also why it doesn't properly set me at the right door. No, that's a different issue, actually. Setting me at the right door when I walk through a door will be fixed when all the doors in the central area will have a level link to them. Of course, right now they don't. Did it save my nanite settings for all these? Hold on. Yes, it did. So it should have saved the collision as well. Levels. Where's my levels? I'm literally in the levels folder, so what the hell am I talking about? Yeah, I should probably go through those attacks and make that window for perfect dodging a lot thinner. So let's do that first. Where did I do that? In animations, surely. Enemies. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it's in the montage. Yes, it is. So yeah, right now we have I think these are frames on a 30 FPS basis. So we effectively have, in 30 FPS, we have frame 17 to 20 to dodge out of the way of this, which is about, we can just say it in seconds actually, from about 5.8 to about 6.8, so about a tenth of a second window, and that seems really quite easy to nail. So I think what we do is we like halve that. And then we need to make sure that we have like the same here. We need to be dodging out of the way within like, it's got to be a few frames at most. Because it is way too easy. Revenge attack, I don't think we want to be able to trigger that with. Okay, cool. So that's the basic Reapers. Where's the rest of the fucking animations, man? I think they're just an enemy's ground. I might have them on... I need to reorganize my stuff. I don't know what anything is. What the hell, man? What the hell? I guess we can just go and look for them, right? We can just look for Demon. That opens up the animations, which lets us find where they are. They're on blueprints, and then on that makes no sense. So yeah, this one, it's from 8.6 to 9.6, which again, too goddamn much. So we make that a bunch shorter. This only has one attack. Nice and easy. Ghost assets. Oh yeah, this is weirdly scaled, so it's going to be weird. Left hit. This is even longer, it feels. 55 to, well, not really. Revenge hit doesn't have that, and that doesn't have that. Okay. I don't think the Shaman has any dodgeable attacks. Well, the attacks are dodgeable. I just don't think it has any like perfect dodging mechanics. Yes, it doesn't. Okay, good. Spider the same because it's all projectiles. It's all projectiles, and I didn't... Did I make projectiles trigger it as well? I'll look into that in a moment. But that seems to be it for now. But that doesn't make sense because I also had a zombie. Where the hell is that? Where did I put my zombie, dude? Because that definitely is also going to trigger it. Yes. Alright, that first and foremost. Don't care about that. These are knockback animations, that's fine. It's just a taunting animation and this. Cool, yes. More smaller window as well. We're now down to... Still too big. I think effectively on a 30 FPS timeline, it being almost frame perfect is probably like... I thought that might be too much, but I think it's pretty good to do that because it is really powerful. So just dodging out of the way like 1 or 2 frames before the actual like damage sphere. And there's also the fact that if you are standing like right here and you dodge out of the way, it also triggers. Let's check out everything that I just changed. So it is already like fairly lenient in that way. All right, I think we, yeah, let's do some stage 3 stuff for the night boss, which has a stage 3 somewhere, surely. What the fuck did I call it though? Oh, it's probably in a different folder. Stage 3 night boss. So, here's wait for the passive time. Wait for time. Let's see. How did I set this up again? In a weird way, I'm sure. Why do I have 2 of these? I need to rework this, man. This just needs to like work based on names so I can easily like remap properties or something. Because this is fairly hard-coded, which is fine if it's for a boss fight, I guess. So HP check, new value is 20. New value for what? Oh, for aggressive time, and this is for passive wait time. Okay, that makes sense. So our passive wait time is 10 seconds. I think we need to like lower that to like just not having that, to be honest with you. I think we just don't have the passive state at all. So we just, for now, just get rid of this. Because it's fairly easy to attack him in the middle of like one of his animations, because his animations are super slow. If his animations were very snappy, very quick, which they might do well with being a little quicker than they are as well, like that would be one thing. But this passive time is actually like, as long as he's sitting down, he's also not doing the attack that depletes his entire like defense bar either. So this doesn't actually make the fight easier, I don't think. This makes the fight more tedious, which means that you're going to get impatient, which means that you're going to like do more dangerous stuff. I think that this is counter to actually like a well executed boss. All that said though, we do want to go in here and set some of these montages to also play out faster. Because these are fairly slow. Oh, they're set to like 0.8 times scale. Yeah, I think like 1.2 is a lot better for these. Set these to 1.2. That might even still be a bit slower. I need to redo a bunch of these animations, to be honest, because they all kind of suck. The animations for these, for the teleport attack, is pretty good. And then with the knights, characters, bosses, knights, test knights. I also want to change his stats a little bit. So we set that in the ability system. I am pretty sure default starting data. In this table. So his health is, I think, pretty good. I think we want to set his defense to be like 350 instead. Because it's just a little much. And then his health being 400 seems pretty good. His damage, I don't care. Just don't get hit. Just get good. Again, if I played Hollow Knight, one thing that godforsaken hornet's been screaming into my ears every time I died of Radiance. Just get good. Like, actually just insulting. Hold on, why did I have some ghosting there? Because I sure as hell shouldn't have, like, TAA. Unless did I just put Lumen back on at some point? Surely I didn't, right? That would be silly. That would be really dumb. That's out of the settings. That's not at all where that is. Project settings. Reflection method is Lumen. No, actually, it is not. Global illumination is also none. Okay. Don't know when and where I did that, but apparently I did. Right, let's see what that feels like for a boss fight. And then I also do think that I want to go through and set up the basic enemies to be a little less spongy. Because it's a bit much right now. And I think what ends up happening from like a design perspective, right, is that I played like a few Kingdom Hearts games and then some, specifically like Final Fantasy 16 I played a lot of while I was making a bunch of this stuff. And the enemies in Final Fantasy 16 are fairly spongy as well. I played a little bit of like Jedi Survivor, which also has fairly spongy enemies. And recently, I've been playing Hollow Knight, and Hollow Knight is more about like getting in the attacks when you can, and only then having to get in a few attacks on basic enemies. And I'm not trying to make 3D Hollow Knight. So I need to be careful of overcorrecting into something that feels weird to me right now, just because I've been playing something else in my own time. Hold on, don't die here. But I do think that having that as a little bit of context and feeling like actually like having all these enemies, and there's some people who also had this as feedback on playtest, and like the enemies are a little too spongy, which makes them annoying to deal with, which means that you skip them, which means that you end up with less experience, which means that you end up under leveled, which means that the problem only like grows, right? Like there's a negative feedback loop happening there. So I think making the enemies not pushovers necessarily, because they still should be able to like damage you as well. But just lowering their stats in general is probably not a bad idea. So let's see if we can try to do that. We have the basic demon attributes, right? So it has 150 health, which is let's lower that to like 90. And then its max defense is 50. Let's lower that to like 20. We also need to keep in mind that as you level up, it still needs to like not instantly die. But as you defeat bosses, those stats also go up, right? There's just a stats multiplier that gets applied when an enemy is like spawned in, when it's activated. Don't know why it does that. It's pretty annoying. So after you defeat the first boss, I think all the enemy stats double, or they get like 50% added to them, and then every boss after that is going to have like a additional multiplier to that. So the way it works is it just keeps a variable for the multiplier, and when it's fairly straightforward. I realize as I'm trying to explain it. So ideally what should happen is that at the beginning of any like given dungeon that you go into, the enemies feel reasonable, and at the end of it, they feel pretty like trivial. Then you defeat the boss, and the entire game like comes back up to your level. That is the idea. Obviously, what you could do is do the entire game without defeating any of the bosses, so that you scale the hell out of proportion. But your experience also scales, so you're gonna have trouble like leveling up beyond a certain point as well, to prevent this very thing. But that's still a thing that you could do, is just not defeat any of the bosses. You're gonna be stuck with your basic weapon. So there's a little bit of strategy in there, which is fine if there's like a strategy that you're gonna be like easily be able to like deal with this kind of stuff. Yeah, you see, just being able to combo him into combos to death, put the words in the right order yourself, please, feels a lot better, I think. And not being able to just have that insane of a like dodge window for the perfect dodge is also good, because I'm actually having kind of trouble getting the perfect dodge now. Okay, so it might actually be a little too tight now. There we go. I don't know, is that too tight? Again, I don't want every dodge to end with you like just laying down fire and fury on every enemy in the game. It should be relatively rare, as in, if you're fishing for it, you can constantly get good at it, I'm sure. But what it should be is it should be every so often, just through the flow of combat, it happens and you can go apeshit. That's ideally the way that should work. Also, yeah, so that tutorial area doesn't spawn in all the enemies that I placed there. What's up with that? No. Or why is that? Because this is supposed to be the... Yes. Ready to spawn? Yes. Allow spawn? Yes. Detection radius. Why don't you spawn? Don't have an override for any of that. And we... On begin play, we just do super begin play, so we don't do anything. In tick, we just check if allowed to spawn and ready to spawn, vector distance, actor get location, get player character, get world, get actor location. Distance is less than the detection distance. Ready to spawn is false, and then we spawn wave, which is the first one. Remove enemy, we at some point set ready to spawn back to tree. Yeah, so that should work. Is the thing? Why doesn't it? Okay. That's quite odd. Does that value somehow like get reset or something? Well, at least we have the safe arts right next to it, so we can check it out. Yeah, so this, when I get close enough, should start spawning in these fuckers. But it doesn't. Oh! It does! It just falls through the floor. What? What? Also, that's definitely the wrong ghost. They just fall through the floor. Why? Is that what's happening? Let's start them all as active. See what happens. I don't know what that's doing. When they start as active, it works. And then they do get activated when I enter the radius. So, yeah, I think it's just something... Don't mind the actual like shitty frame rate here. I don't know why it's so shitty, but we'll figure it out. We have one land. I think they are falling through the floor now. That must be it. Because it's supposed to then enable these as well, right? Because it did spawn in that one that's flying without any problem. So maybe they just all need to be lifted up a little, because they technically are spawned inside of the floor and then they get spawned under the floor, because Unreal is like trying to spawn them in a safe location where they're not overlapping with any collision. And instead of spawning them above where they are ideally supposed to spawn, it spawns them under it. I guess, maybe? Yeah, so, well, the actual help. At this point, the only thing that I can think of is let's see, because when they spawn in, what might be happening is they might have gravity but no collision and fall through because of that. But no, because that would still, I guess this one doesn't have gravity at all, does it? Let's set the gravity scale for this one to 0 specifically. If that is the issue, I don't know when or why that's suddenly popping up. Is that a thing that just works differently since I upgraded to like 5.5 and I just never noticed until now? That might be it. Well, that certainly seems like it might be it. Also really weird how that damaged me. But how does he damage me? Yeah, so the rest seem to be infinitely falling. Again. Because we have... Oh, I guess these do get... That's probably... Yeah, that might be why it's lagging, because these get spawned into the persistent world, don't they? I'll fix that later. Wait, we don't have the ghosts at all. I have the zombie here. Which is also falling infinitely. Oh, here are the ghosts. Yeah, so... Yeah, the ghosts are just falling. Just falling. So I guess we also set their gravity to 0 when they start as inactive. Because their collision is set to false, otherwise the player can pass through. What we really should do is we should set it to collision, like preset, where the player can pass through, but they still respect like static collision. I guess. Let's look in C++ how I set this up again, because it's been a while. If is active, else that had enable collision is just altogether false. So yeah, I think the easiest thing to just do is check this out. That's fine. Get character movements. Gravity scale is 0. And then when we activate them, which should be activate enemy, set it back to 1. Logically, that should solve it, right? If that was the issue, which I don't know that it is, but I'm assuming. We also might just do well with a proper full recompile there. Because I never trust live coding, because it's way too fast. It's only still doing this for the 1. Which makes no sense. Because this one works due to its... What the hell? Yeah, so that just means that it didn't actually like compile in. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why it does that. Is it because it needs to have saved the file? It's probably because it needs to have saved the file. That makes sense. Let's try again. Yeah, so the 500 bullets seem to very much... We don't need 500 anyway. But I think that is what is causing the lag, is having those 500 actors kind of hanging out. But yeah, so that seems to have fixed that, so that's good. The weird thing is that it is temporary lag spikes down to like 30, and then just for like a handful of frames. But I can only imagine that it is because there's just way too many bullets loaded in. So let's do like two things about that. Number one will be our bullet pool is going to go down like a lot. I think 100 bullets is probably enough, to be 100% honest with you. Maybe we'll go to like 150 just to be sure. Over that, I don't think anything is necessary. And number two is we only want those to exist while we're in this level, which is quite relevant. So we, in Twin Stick Bullet Manager, when we spawn them in at begin play, we get world. I at some point had a enemy spawner that actually spawned in the enemies. In the level that it existed in instead of a persistent level. I don't think it'll be in the enemy spawner anymore though. Yeah, they're called enemy activator now even. It's an entirely like different class. Just activates the enemy. Maybe ChatGPT remembers the answer. In Unreal, using C++ when spawning an enemy, I needed to spawn in the same streaming level as the actor that runs the spawn function, not into the persistent level. Because I know this is possible. I just don't remember how. No, that's not it. I don't think that's it. Unreal C++ spawn actor into streaming level. Okay, so hold on. The owner part is the most important here. When spawning a new actor and setting its owner parameter in the spawn actor node, it will ensure that they spawn in the same streaming level. So that's why you need to spawn them deferred. No, okay, so it actually does make sense. I don't really like the rest of the implementation as it's very static and manual work. As for C++, okay, so we can... Yeah, I'm not going to play Roblox. Alright, so we spawn a deferred instead, that's fine. So we go back to what ChatGPT said, because that actually turns out to be the proper way to do it. Spawn actor deferred. Takes in its spawn transform instead, so we'll make F transform spawn transform. Y. Oh, there we go. 0 vector, quad identity, 1 vector. I very much doubt that I'm going to enjoy anything in Roblox. I'm going to be like super real with you there. What even is the rest of these parameters? Owner. Oh, we can just set the owner in here. Can we just set the owner through normal spawning? Hold on. Is that just a thing that we could have done to begin with? Did we just keep going here? Yes or no. Actually, I'm just not gonna play that, and you can. You can keep talking about it, but I'm not gonna do it. So nope. I guess it's in spawn parameters. Maybe. Spawn params dot instigator equals needs to be a controller. Oh, it needs to be a pawn. We still have owner, right? Yes. So we just put in the spawn params. Okay, so that should make them spawn in the proper location or the proper streaming level now. Give that a shot. And after that, I think I'm going to head out of here because it's been long enough. Have a good one. I mean, we first got to see if this worked. If it didn't work, I'm going to be stuck here forever. Because apparently that's the rules I've set for myself now. State trees, man. Sometimes they're killing me. I like state trees. It's worth dealing with sometimes having these random crashes on startup. But man, does it get annoying. They're really gonna fix their shit about that. I guess it technically is still in beta, right? So fair enough. Let's see. Puzzle. Got a bunch of bullets. We have way less bullets now, to be fair. We also can immediately see that in the FPS, which is kind of nice. Then if I go into here, and then I go into the outliner, I no longer have 100 bullets just hanging out. Fantastic. So that worked. Cool. That's everything there is to it. So let's just do a little bit of fighting, and then we'll kind of be out of here. Sometimes they just kind of decide to attack without giving the proper like warning animations for it. Oh, I could have instant killed them. I forgot that I added that mechanic as well. But I do have an instant kill now. Now, can I deal enough damage to like out-damage the healing dude? I can. I again didn't do the instant kill. I want to do the instant kill because it's fun. I need to like make an animation for it, obviously, because right now I don't have that. Do you even like do anything? Yes, you do. Okay. Hold on. Let's ensure that you die first then, because that is actually like again the designed intention here. And now, if we get the instant kill, I actually do it, because it also gives you, I think, 10% more experience when you do it, which is nice. You kind of gotta like, okay, we can see does, I don't think it does stuff and things. Yes, it does not do stuff and things. There we go. When I say stuff and things, I mean trigger the like bullet time stuff off of dodging projectiles, because I did have that at one point, and I very quickly decided, hey, actually, no. That is way too easy to abuse. All right, so yeah, all that works. We do need a little bit more work on the like instant kill thing, because it's not super obvious right now. So I probably also need to add just a normal like on-screen widget that just pops up like finish him, but without getting sued. Yeah, a little bit of tweaking is what the hell. I guess it's trying to kill things that no longer exist in the... Yeah, I just need to put in... It's in here somewhere. We aren't checking the get gameplay ability system component. I guess we just need to check here as well for validity. It's not a big deal, but it's just annoying to see. So only if this is valid we do all this. But if it is not valid, this cast should fail to begin with. So that makes no sense. Oh well. So yeah, we did a little bit of just like general gameplay tweaking here, which is always a good thing to do every now and then. And we'll be back on Tuesday doing something. I don't know what yet. I think we still need to make the coding for the like tank cannon as well, so we might be doing that. Anything aside from coding the actual like next boss fight, because I'm scared about that. I might do that this weekend or something. We'll see. Anyway, thank everybody for hanging out. I'm not going to be playing any Roblox because I've got about a million better things.